Ladies and gentlemen, in this moment I invite you to pause, take a deep breath, and turn your attention inward. Think about yourself not as a collection of flaws or a bundle of achievements, but as a precious, unique being. This is the journey we often avoid, yet it is the most essential one of all the journey to love yourself more than anyone else. Many of us have been taught that self-love is selfish, that putting ourselves first diminishes the love we can give to others. But think about it, how can you pour from an empty cup? Loving yourself isn't about arrogance or superiority, it's about nurturing the relationship with the person who will be with you every step of the way. You are worthy, and your worth is not determined by anything outside of you. No job title, no approval from others, no possessions or achievements. It is intrinsic, built into the very fabric of who you are. But often we don't recognize our worth because we've been conditioned to seek validation from external sources. We live in a world that constantly measures our value against arbitrary standards, whether it's appearance, wealth, or success. Yet none of these things can define your true worth. From the moment you entered this world, you were valuable regardless of the circumstances surrounding your birth or the expectations others may have placed on you. You were born as you are with everything you need to thrive. Yet somewhere along the way, you may have forgotten this truth. Society teaches us to look outward for approval, to constantly compare ourselves to others, and to believe that we are only as valuable as what we can do, produce, or achieve. But this is a lie. True worth does not rely on the external. It is an internal truth, one that is consistent and unwavering. You are worthy simply because you exist. Your worth is inherent, as much a part of you as your heartbeat or the breath you take. When you start to recognize your worth, you begin to see the world differently. You realize that you don't need to seek validation from others because you already have everything you need within yourself. This understanding can be both liberating and transformative. Recognizing your worth means rejecting the false narratives you've been told about what makes you valuable. It means stopping the cycle of self-criticism and comparison. You are not defined by your mistakes or shortcomings, and you certainly are not defined by the opinions of others. Your worth is not something to be earned, achieved, or proven. It is simply something that is. However, recognizing this worth requires a shift in mindset. It requires you to stop looking for validation from external sources, whether it's approval from family, friends, or society. When you constantly seek validation from outside yourself, you give others the power to dictate your sense of value. But when you recognize your own worth, you reclaim that power. You stop giving away pieces of your self-esteem to people and circumstances that have no right to determine how you feel about yourself. This process of recognition is deeply personal. It requires you to confront all the beliefs you've held about yourself, especially the limiting ones. Perhaps you believe that you're not good enough, that you must constantly strive to prove your worth, or that your past mistakes make you undeserving of love and respect. But these beliefs are not the truth. The truth is that you are enough exactly as you are. When you recognize your worth, you stop tolerating behaviors, relationships, and situations that diminish you. You begin to set boundaries and protect your energy. You understand that you deserve to be treated with kindness, respect, and love. No longer do you allow toxic relationships or environments to define your sense of self. Instead, you surround yourself with those who uplift you, who reflect the love and worth you've begun to see in yourself. Part of recognizing your worth is also about acknowledging your strengths. It's easy to focus on what we think we lack. But what about the things that make you unique and capable? You have strengths, talents, qualities, and abilities that are yours alone. Start celebrating them. Take pride in your kindness, your resilience, your intelligence, your creativity. These gifts are a reflection of your worth. When you recognize your worth, you can also begin to see the beauty in these qualities. Recognizing your worth also means forgiving yourself. We all make mistakes and we all have moments of doubt. But your worth is not contingent on perfection. You don't have to be flawless to be worthy of love and respect. You deserve to be loved just as you are, with all of your imperfections and your struggles. The process of recognizing your worth involves extending grace to yourself, allowing yourself the space to learn and grow. This process is not always easy, and it doesn't happen overnight. But each step you take toward recognizing your worth brings you closer to living a life of self-love and acceptance. The more you affirm your value, the more your mind begins to internalize it. And eventually you begin to see the world through a new lens, one in which you know without a shadow of a doubt that you are worthy of all the good things life has to offer. So take a moment to reflect on this truth: you are worthy. No matter where you've been, what you've done, or what you've been told, your worth remains unchanged. You are valuable simply because you exist. The recognition of your worth is not an act of arrogance or selfishness. It is an act of self-care, of embracing your true self. Today, commit to recognizing your worth, to seeing yourself as deserving of love, happiness, and success. When you do, the world will begin to mirror this newfound recognition. The more you love yourself, the more you will attract the love, respect, and opportunities that align with your true value. The way you speak to yourself is the foundation upon which your entire life is built. Words have power, more power than we often realize. They can either uplift and inspire or tear down and diminish. The words you use when you talk to yourself shape your beliefs, influence your emotions, and ultimately determine the quality of your life. If you speak to yourself with kindness, you create a life filled with compassion, positivity, and self-worth. But if you allow negative, harsh words to dominate your inner dialogue, it's like setting up barriers to your own success and happiness. Speaking to yourself with kindness means choosing words that nurture, heal, and encourage. It's about recognizing that you, just like everyone else, deserve love and respect. Often we are our own harshest critics. We would never speak to a friend or loved one the way we speak to ourselves. Yet too many of us engage in constant self-criticism, focusing on what we did wrong, what we could have done better, or what we're lacking. This negative inner monologue creates unnecessary stress, anxiety, and feelings of inadequacy. But the truth is, you are worthy of speaking to yourself with the same kindness, compassion, and understanding that you would offer someone you love deeply. When you speak to yourself with kindness, you affirm your own value. Every word you say is a message to your subconscious, reinforcing the beliefs you hold about yourself. If your inner conversation is filled with self-doubt, self-judgment, or blame, you will begin to see yourself through a lens of limitation. But when you replace those negative thoughts with affirmations of love, support, and encouragement, you create a new narrative, one that recognizes your worth and potential. One of the simplest ways to start speaking to yourself with kindness is by becoming more aware of your inner dialogue. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself throughout the day. Are you kind and compassionate, or are you overly critical and harsh? Many people don't even realize how negative their self-talk is because it has become so ingrained in their thinking. But once you start paying attention, you'll likely notice that many of your thoughts are filled with self-judgment and doubt. The key is to change the narrative. When a negative thought enters your mind, challenge it. Ask yourself, would I say this to a friend? If the answer is no, then it's time to replace that thought with something kinder. Instead of thinking, I'm not good enough, replace it with, I am doing my best. And that's enough, instead of, I'll never be able to do this, try, I can do this. One step at a time. Every time you catch a negative thought, consciously replace it with a more supportive and loving one. This process doesn't happen overnight, but with time it will become more natural, and your inner dialogue will shift. Another important aspect of speaking to yourself with kindness is forgiving yourself. We all make mistakes. We all fall short sometimes. But those mistakes don't define us. When you make a mistake or experience failure, speak to yourself with compassion instead of judgment. Instead of saying, I'm such a failure, try saying, I made a mistake and I am learning from it. This doesn't define who I am. Forgiveness is a crucial part of self-kindness because it allows you to move forward without being weighed down by guilt or regret. When you forgive yourself, you free yourself from the past and open the door to growth and new opportunities. It's also important to remember that speaking to yourself with kindness doesn't mean you avoid responsibility or accountability. It simply means you approach yourself with understanding rather than harshness. It's about recognizing that you are human, and like everyone else, you are doing the best you can with what you know at the time. Treat yourself with the same compassion that you would show to a friend who is struggling. We all have moments of doubt, and it's important to recognize that this is part of being human. You are allowed to make mistakes and still be worthy of love and respect. Kindness to yourself also means taking care of your emotional and mental well-being. How you speak to yourself directly impacts your self-esteem and sense of worth. If you constantly criticize and belittle yourself, you will eventually start to internalize those messages. Over time, this can lead to feelings of inadequacy, depression, and anxiety. On the other hand, when you speak to yourself kindly, you build a foundation of self-love and acceptance that allows you to face challenges with resilience and confidence. The language of kindness also includes speaking to yourself with patience. In a world that constantly pushes us to do more, be more, and achieve more, it's easy to become impatient with ourselves. But growth takes time. Whether you're working on a new skill, healing from a difficult experience, or striving to reach a goal, it's important to be patient with yourself. Remember, progress is not always linear. There will be setbacks and there will be challenges, but that doesn't mean you're failing. It simply means you're learning, and that is something to be celebrated. Speak to yourself with patience, recognizing that you are on your own unique journey, and there is no need to rush. In the end, the way you speak to yourself is one of the most important factors in how you experience life. Kindness breeds confidence, self-acceptance, and peace. It allows you to move through life with a sense of inner strength, knowing that you are worthy of all the good things the world has to offer. So starting today, choose your words carefully. Speak to yourself with love, compassion, and kindness. You deserve it. Setting boundaries with love is an essential practice that allows you to honor and protect your own well-being while maintaining healthy relationships with others. It is not about creating distance or shutting people out, but rather about creating a space where both you and others can thrive, where mutual respect and understanding are at the forefront. Boundaries are an act of self-respect. They reflect your understanding of what you need to feel safe, valued, and supported, while also respecting the needs and emotions of those around you. When you set boundaries with love, you approach the situation with kindness, empathy, and clarity. You recognize that you have the right to protect your energy and your time without feeling guilty or selfish. Boundaries are not about rejecting people or cutting them off. They are about communicating what is acceptable and what is not, in a way that allows both you and the other person to feel heard and respected. Boundaries are a form of self-care, a way of honoring your emotional, mental, and physical health. The first step in setting boundaries with love is recognizing that you are worthy of respect. Many of us struggle to set boundaries because we fear how others will react. We worry that we'll be seen as rude, selfish, or unkind. However, it's important to remember that setting boundaries is not a reflection of your love or affection for others. It's a reflection of your love and care for yourself. You cannot give to others from an empty cup. If you don't take care of yourself, you won't have the energy or capacity to be present for those you care about. By setting healthy boundaries, you're ensuring that you have the space and resources to show up as your best self. When setting boundaries, it's essential to be clear and direct. Often people struggle with boundaries because they're afraid of being confrontational or making others uncomfortable. However, the truth is that clear communication is a sign of respect, not hostility. When you communicate your boundaries in a direct yet loving way, you are being honest with the other person and offering them the opportunity to understand and respect your needs. It's important to remember that your boundaries are not negotiable, but the way in which you communicate them can be done with care and consideration. It's about finding a balance between asserting your needs and honoring the feelings of the other person. It's also crucial to recognize that setting boundaries may not always be met with immediate understanding or acceptance. Some people may try to push your boundaries, test your limits, or guilt you into changing your mind. In these moments, it's important to stay firm in your decision and reaffirm your boundary with kindness. If you don't enforce your boundaries, they can easily be ignored or violated, which can lead to feelings of resentment or burnout. Remember, when you set a boundary, you are teaching others how to treat you. You are showing them that you value yourself and that you expect the same level of respect in return. While it can be difficult, setting boundaries is an act of love for others as well. When you're able to communicate your needs and limits, you're actually giving the people in your life the opportunity to understand what you need in order to have a healthy, respectful relationship. Boundaries allow you to show up authentically and engage in relationships that are nurturing and balanced. Without boundaries, relationships can become one-sided, draining, or unhealthy. By setting clear and loving boundaries, you create a space where both you and the other person can thrive. Sometimes people may not understand why you're setting a particular boundary, and that's okay. It's important to communicate why you're setting the boundary, but you don't need to justify it. You are allowed to have boundaries that protect your peace and well-being without needing anyone else's approval. For example, if you need some quiet time to recharge, you don't need to explain why you need it. You simply have the right to say, "I need some time for myself right now." This simple, loving statement can help others understand that your need for solitude is not a reflection of their worth, but a reflection of your need to care for your own energy. Setting boundaries with love also means being willing to adjust your boundaries when necessary. Life is constantly changing, and what worked for you at one point may not work for you at another. As you grow and evolve, your needs may shift and your boundaries may need to be adjusted accordingly. This is a normal part of life and self-care. When you make these adjustments, do so with compassion and honesty. If you need to shift a boundary, communicate it with clarity and understanding, knowing that your needs are valid and important. Another aspect of setting boundaries with love is learning to say no without guilt. Saying no is a powerful way of protecting your energy and prioritizing your well-being. Many people struggle with saying no because they fear disappointing others or feeling selfish. However, when you say yes to things that drain you or don't align with your values, you are ultimately saying no to your own well-being. Learning to say no with confidence and kindness is an essential skill in setting boundaries with love. Finally, setting boundaries with love requires patience and practice. It's not always easy, especially if you've been in relationships or situations where boundaries were not respected or valued. However, the more you practice setting boundaries with love, the easier it becomes. Over time, you'll begin to notice how much healthier, more balanced, and fulfilling your relationships become. You'll feel more empowered and confident in your ability to care for yourself while still maintaining meaningful connections with others. In the end, setting boundaries with love is a profound act of self-care. It's a way of nurturing your own emotional and physical health while fostering relationships that are built on mutual respect, understanding, and care. By honoring your boundaries, you teach others how to honor you, and you create the space for deeper, more authentic connections. So remember to set your boundaries with love, both for yourself and for those around you. Forgiving yourself is one of the most important and transformative acts of self-love you can practice. It's a powerful step toward healing, personal growth, and peace of mind. Often we are our own harshest critics, holding ourselves accountable for mistakes, shortcomings, and regrets long after the events have passed. We carry these burdens, sometimes without realizing it, and they weigh heavily on our hearts and minds. But forgiveness, especially self-forgiveness, is the key to releasing that weight, moving forward, and embracing the fullness of life with compassion and understanding. Self-forgiveness is not about condoning your past actions or denying responsibility for mistakes. Instead, it's about acknowledging your imperfections, learning from them, and giving yourself permission to grow beyond them. When we make mistakes, it's easy to fall into the trap of guilt, shame, or self-blame. We replay our actions over and over in our minds, wishing we had done things differently or wondering how we could have avoided the situation. This mental cycle of self-punishment keeps us stuck in the past, preventing us from fully embracing the present moment and moving forward. The first step in forgiving yourself is recognizing that you are human, and as such you are bound to make mistakes. Perfection is an illusion, and it's important to accept that. We often hold ourselves to unrealistic standards, expecting flawless behavior, decision-making, and results. But no one is perfect. Everyone stumbles, falls, and experiences moments of regret. What matters is how you respond to those moments. Instead of beating yourself up, choose to be kind and gentle with yourself. Give yourself the grace to make mistakes and learn from them, rather than punishing yourself for being imperfect. Another important part of self-forgiveness is understanding that holding on to guilt or shame does not serve you or anyone else. When you hold on to past mistakes, you create an emotional prison for yourself. The longer you stay locked in self-blame, the more disconnected you become from the person you are now. Your past does not define you, nor does it dictate your future. By holding on to negative feelings about yourself, you prevent yourself from growing and evolving. Forgiving yourself allows you to release the past and free yourself from emotional baggage. It enables you to approach each new day with a fresh perspective, knowing that you are not bound by your past actions, but empowered by your capacity to change. One of the most profound aspects of self-forgiveness is learning to speak to yourself with kindness. How often do you catch yourself using harsh or critical language when thinking about your mistakes? The words we use matter. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough or that you'll never change, you reinforce feelings of inadequacy. But if you shift your language to something more compassionate, such as "I made a mistake, but I'm learning from it," you begin to rewrite the narrative. You remind yourself that mistakes are opportunities for growth, not evidence of failure. When you speak to yourself kindly, you affirm your worth, and you begin to cultivate a mindset that is open to healing and self-improvement. Forgiving yourself also means letting go of the need for perfection in your relationships with others. Sometimes we hold on to guilt or regret because we feel we've let someone down, We wish we could change the past or undo something we said or did. However, just like with your relationship with yourself, you need to understand that perfection is impossible. If you have hurt someone, the most loving thing you can do is acknowledge your actions, apologize sincerely, and learn from the experience. Holding on to guilt or trying to overcompensate for the past does not help anyone. The best way to move forward is by allowing yourself and others to heal and grow. A crucial aspect of self-forgiveness is the ability to make amends where possible. While self-forgiveness is a personal journey, sometimes part of healing involves acknowledging the impact of your actions on others. This doesn't mean you should carry the burden of others' emotions, but if there are opportunities to make things right, take them. An honest conversation, an apology, or a change in behavior can help repair relationships and create space for growth and reconciliation. By taking responsibility for your actions and striving to do better, you show both yourself and others that you are committed to evolving. It's important to remember that self-forgiveness is a process, not a one-time event. It's easy to say, "I forgive myself," but the emotional healing takes time. You may find yourself revisiting old feelings of guilt or regret even after you've made the decision to forgive yourself. This is completely normal. Healing is not linear, and there may be days when you feel like you're back at square one. Be patient with yourself. Forgiveness is a practice, and it's okay to take it one step at a time. Each time you choose to forgive yourself, you are creating a new habit, a new mindset that is focused on compassion rather than self-punishment. As you work through the process of self-forgiveness, it can be helpful to remind yourself that you are worthy of love, compassion, and second chances. Forgiving yourself means acknowledging your inherent value, regardless of past mistakes. Your worth is not contingent on being perfect. It's based on the fact that you are a human being capable of growth, learning, and transformation. No matter what has happened in your past, you deserve to live a life free from guilt and regret. You deserve to embrace the future with hope and confidence. Forgiving yourself is one of the most empowering things you can do. It frees you from the past, allows you to embrace your imperfections, and enables you to move forward with a sense of peace and clarity. Celebrating your uniqueness is an empowering practice that invites you to embrace who you truly are and recognize the value of your individuality. In a world that often encourages conformity and comparison, it can be easy to forget that you are one of a kind. But each of us is born with our own set of experiences, perspectives, talents, and dreams, all of which combine to make us special. Celebrating your uniqueness means acknowledging and appreciating all that you are, both the parts that make you stand out and the aspects that make you human. It's important to understand that your uniqueness is not something to be hidden or apologized for. Far too often, we shrink ourselves to fit into boxes or meet the expectations of others. We may feel the pressure to conform to certain standards of beauty, success, or behavior. But by doing so, we deny the very qualities that make us different and extraordinary. Every individual has something special to offer the world, and when you embrace your uniqueness, you not only empower yourself, but also inspire others to do the same. At the core of celebrating your uniqueness is the realization that you are enough just as you are. There is no need to compare yourself to others, or to measure your worth against someone else's achievements or appearance. Society often promotes a narrow definition of success or beauty, but your value is not determined by these superficial standards. The truth is that your worth is inherent and not dependent on external validation. When you embrace who you are without trying to change or fit into someone else's mold, you give yourself permission to live authentically and confidently. One of the first steps in celebrating your uniqueness is to recognize and appreciate your individual qualities. We all have strengths, weaknesses, and everything in between, and these characteristics make us who we are. Your quirks, passions, and talents are the things that set you apart from others and contribute to the richness of your life. Whether it's your creativity, your sense of humor, your intelligence, your compassion, or your resilience, these qualities deserve to be celebrated. Often we overlook or undervalue the very traits that make us special, thinking they are insignificant or unworthy of recognition. But every part of you, your personality, your thoughts, your preferences, contributes to the uniqueness of who you are. By taking time to reflect on what makes you unique, you can begin to honor and appreciate these aspects of yourself. Another important part of celebrating your uniqueness is letting go of the fear of judgment. Many of us hesitate to express ourselves fully because we fear how others will perceive us. We worry that our differences will be criticized, misunderstood, or rejected. But the truth is, the people who truly matter will appreciate you for who you are. And those who don't are not the ones who should define your sense of self-worth. Embracing your uniqueness means letting go of the fear of judgment and allowing yourself to shine. When you express your authentic self, you create space for others to do the same. By celebrating your uniqueness, you contribute to a culture of acceptance and openness. In a world that is often focused on fitting in, it's important to remember that standing out is a gift. Your individuality can be a source of strength and creativity. The things that make you different are the things that can help you make an impact in the world. By embracing your uniqueness, you tap into your true potential and allow your voice to be heard. Whether it's in your career, your relationships, or your personal endeavors, your unique qualities bring a fresh perspective and innovative ideas. The world needs your voice, your talents, and your perspective. When you celebrate who you are, you create the opportunity to share your gifts with others in meaningful ways. Celebrating your uniqueness also involves accepting that no one else has lived the same life that you have. Your experiences, both the triumphs and the challenges, have shaped you into the person you are today. These experiences give you insights and wisdom that no one else can offer. Instead of comparing your journey to someone else's, honor your path and recognize the value in your own story. Each challenge you've faced, each lesson you've learned, has added depth to your life and helped you become who you are. Embracing your past, both the good and the difficult, allows you to step into your power and fully appreciate your growth. One of the most empowering ways to celebrate your uniqueness is to practice self-compassion. Often we are our own worst critics, pointing out our flaws and focusing on our perceived shortcomings. But self-compassion is about being kind to yourself, even when you make mistakes or don't live up to your own expectations. Celebrating your uniqueness means accepting yourself as you are, without judgment or harsh self-criticism. When you practice self-compassion, you create a safe space within yourself to grow, evolve, and thrive. You give yourself the love and understanding you deserve, and this allows you to continue embracing and celebrating the person you are becoming. At times, the process of celebrating your uniqueness can feel daunting, especially if you've spent a long time hiding parts of yourself or trying to meet others' expectations. But it's important to start where you are and take small steps toward embracing who you are. It might start with acknowledging one thing you love about yourself each day or expressing your opinion without fear of judgment. As you continue to practice celebrating your uniqueness, you will find that it becomes easier and more natural to show up as your authentic self. Remember, your uniqueness is your superpower. No one else can be you, and that's what makes you irreplaceable. When you embrace your individuality and celebrate all the qualities that make you who you are, you step into your full potential. You stop seeking approval from others and instead find validation within yourself. By celebrating your uniqueness, you not only honor yourself, but also inspire others to do the same. The world needs you exactly as you are, and when you step into your own power, you contribute to a world that values diversity, authenticity, and self-love. Embrace who you are, flaws, strengths, and all, and celebrate the beautiful, unique person you are becoming. Nurturing yourself daily is an essential practice for maintaining balance, well-being, and inner peace. In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, it's easy to neglect your own needs, often prioritizing responsibilities, relationships, and other external demands over your own self-care. However, the act of nurturing yourself physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually plays a critical role in ensuring that you can continue to show up as your best self for others and for the world. It's about taking the time to listen to your body, honor your emotions, and nourish your spirit. Nurturing yourself daily begins with the acknowledgement that you are worthy of care and attention. It may sound simple, but many of us struggle with the belief that we deserve to prioritize ourselves. We may feel guilty for taking time to rest, recharge, or engage in activities that bring us joy. The truth is, self-care is not a luxury, it is a necessity. You cannot pour from an empty cup. When you take care of yourself, you replenish your energy and well-being, which in turn enables you to give more to others. This self-awareness is the foundation for daily nurturing, because it reminds you that you are valuable and deserving of the time and care it takes to maintain your physical, emotional, and mental health. A critical aspect of nurturing yourself is physical care. Our bodies are the vessels that carry us through life, and it's important to honor them with regular practices that support our physical health. This includes getting enough sleep, eating nourishing food, staying hydrated, and engaging in physical activity. Sleep is one of the most restorative practices, yet it is often overlooked. A good night's sleep helps your body recover, boosts your immune system, and improves your mood. Eating nutrient-dense foods that fuel your body with energy is another key component of physical self-care. A balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins can have a profound impact on how you feel physically and mentally. Hydration is equally important, as water supports vital bodily functions, enhances concentration, and keeps your skin glowing. Engaging in regular exercise, whether through walking, yoga, dancing, or more intense workouts, helps to release stress, boosts your mood, and improves overall health. These small but essential practices nurture your body and help you feel more grounded and energized each day. Equally important is nurturing your emotional and mental health. Many people spend a great deal of time and energy caring for their physical health, but neglect their emotional well-being. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to become overwhelmed with stress, anxiety, and negative emotions. To nurture yourself emotionally, it's crucial to create space for self-reflection and emotional release. Start by acknowledging your feelings without judgment. It's okay to feel sad, frustrated, anxious, or upset. These emotions are a natural part of being human. When you allow yourself to feel your emotions, you create an opportunity to process and release them, rather than bottling them up and letting them fester. Take time each day to engage in activities that help you relax and clear your mind. This could include meditation, journaling, deep breathing exercises, or simply spending time in nature. These practices allow you to reconnect with yourself and reduce the mental clutter that can cloud your clarity and peace of mind. Taking a break from the constant demands of work, social media, and external expectations can also be incredibly nurturing. Setting boundaries to protect your mental and emotional space is a form of self-love that helps you stay balanced and centered. Practicing mindfulness can also help you stay present and cultivate a sense of peace and gratitude in your daily life. Nurturing your spirit is another essential aspect of daily self-care. Our spiritual health is deeply connected to our sense of purpose, meaning, and inner peace. This doesn't necessarily mean following a specific religious path. It's about finding practices that connect you to your higher self, to the world around you, and to something greater than yourself. Whether it's through prayer, meditation, practicing gratitude, or engaging in creative expression, nurturing your spirit helps to replenish your energy and align you with your deeper values. One of the most nurturing practices for the spirit is simply taking time for stillness. In a world that is constantly moving, slowing down and being present can feel like a luxury. However, moments of stillness allow you to reconnect with your true self, hear your inner voice, and gain clarity about what truly matters to you. It's in these moments that you can reflect on your life, express gratitude for the blessings you have, and set intentions for how you want to show up in the world. Practices like meditation or prayer help you create space for quiet reflection, cultivating a sense of inner peace and spiritual alignment. Nurturing yourself daily also involves practicing self-compassion and kindness. We are often our own harshest critics, but when we make an effort to treat ourselves with the same love and understanding that we offer to others, we create a foundation of self-acceptance and confidence. Self-compassion is not about perfection. It's about being gentle with yourself when things don't go as planned. It's about acknowledging that you are human and mistakes and setbacks are part of the journey. When you practice self-compassion, you release the need for self-judgment and instead create an environment in which growth and healing can take place. Another key aspect of nurturing yourself is surrounding yourself with positive influences. The people you spend time with can have a significant impact on your well-being. Seek relationships that uplift and support you, and create boundaries with those who drain or negatively affect your energy.